Hi everybody, my name is Richard Jaguar, and this is going to be my presentation on my leadership style. So a little history about my time as a leader. So I've been working in my facility now for 8 years as a nurse. I started as a floor nurse here, and in that time I kind of moved through the ranks. And when I think about role models for myself in terms of being a good leader, the two people that I think about are my DONs that I had as I was moving through my years at Bradbrook. The first director of nurses name was Sarah Goldberg, and then she had Natalia Futrell as the ADON at the time. And under both of them, I was able to learn a lot about not just nursing, but what it looks like to be a successful leader. I was an ADON for a year and a half with Natalia, and now I've been the director of nurses for the past 3 years. So when I went through the assessment tool at the beginning of this semester, it I felt like a lot of that stuff was things that I had already been thinking about over the time as being a leader, being the director of nurses, and I wasn't really surprised that my weakest point was in the building trust self-assessment, and that my strongest point being self-reflection. I think that I struggle not only with I think the problem is that because I have a hard time sometimes trusting, it's just as hard to kind of let people learn to trust me if I'm not building that reciprocal relationship. But the good thing is that I reflect on that and I can see when it is that I'm struggling. As far as my leadership style, I think when I came into this role, I definitely was more of that autocratic type leader. I because I wasn't able to trust and I wasn't able to find a common ground sometimes, and felt like I needed to be in charge and in control all the time. It definitely worked in terms of making sure things were getting done, but I definitely wasn't fostering that relationship with my fellow staff in terms of creating an atmosphere that was successful for everybody. And that's one of the things that I've learned over time is to sort of more move towards and adopt that democratic. So when I did some research on this type of leadership, it came up as shared governance, which is the same type of premise as the democratic style leadership. There was an article written by Brennan and Went that went over them implementing this type of shared governance in a hospital setting. It talked about their goals of empowering the staff, creating an atmosphere of equity and autonomy. It also helps by having a vested interest in your staff members into what it is that you're working towards, and it also leads to innovation. I talked about the pitfalls of shared governance being that if there's not a clear vision from the beginning, that it can create a lot of issues in terms of follow through. And it also, because there's lack of impact in terms of seeing things come to fruition, that'll also lead to decreased engagement by your staff members. These are all things that I am striving for in terms of my skills as a leader in our facility. And I think that I'm definitely making steps towards that. So, based on the paper that I read and the text that we've read in the semester, my plan right now is to implement regular collaborative meetings, not only with my nurse managers, but with my nursing staff to review the ongoing issues that we have. And I feel that this is going to provide them an opportunity to participate in an ad hoc type committee and hopefully lead to innovative solutions to what our problems are. And those problems can lead from anything from our staffing to med passes to treatment times, all of the things that create barriers in the nurse's day as they're moving through the day. I just want to be able to hear their points of view and be able to implement solutions that they are also involved in. Here are my references for my paper, and thank you very much for listening today.